All right. Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and in today's news story, we're going to be talking about Bungie responding to some of the criticism to the recent Master Vow of the Disciple raid and the huge flop that came along with it. If you didn't see my previous video, I talked a little bit about this. I gave sort of my first impressions of how terrible the loot is from what is supposed to be the most difficult endgame activity in the game. I mean, we have the new raid, Vow of the Disciple, and now we have the highest difficulty factor of it. And still, none of the loot from doing that is really any good. So pretty much there's no reason to do it. I'm going to go ahead and jump right into Bungie's response to this. I'll cross social media here. We've got a tweet saying if you're lucky enough to get a deep sight adept raid weapon, completing the resonance will not count towards your pattern progress, LOL. Which we have Bungie dev and community manager DMG responding saying, commented on an alternate thread, but posting here too. This is a bug. Team is working on a fix. Once we have more info, we'll let y'all know. So it's a bug. You're meant to get the adept versions of the weapons, and by completing them, you will make progress on that pattern, so that way you can craft that weapon into the god roll. The most hilarious part of that is that you would be able to get the adept weapon in order to craft the non-adept version, which is better than the adept version. So it kind of doesn't really make any sense. Seems a little bit ass backwards there. In my opinion, let me know if you agree or disagree down in the comments below. Then the next thing we have from Bungie devs is this. We have any updates on the Vow of the Disciple adept raid weapons will be craftable / have enhanced perks drop, which is something we definitely need. Either the adept weapons need to be craftable, or they just need to drop with enhanced perks, which I thought they would do. I figured Bungie would have the oversight to see this, but they go on to say, seems rather pointless to do master mode for an adept I can't craft and won't get enhanced perks on. Would rather have my personal crafted god roll on a regular raid weapon, which is a very valid point and something that everyone should understand, that the enhanced versions of the perks are actually pretty strong. They're so strong that it's much more worth it to have the crafted version of a weapon than it is to have the adept version, because the adept mods just really aren't that good. They don't make such a gigantic difference so that it makes it better than having the god roll given to you plus the god roll and the enhanced perks to go along with it. So then DMG says, it's been less than 12 hours, no updates. We're passing the feedback up to the team. And sure, it has been less than 12 hours since the Master of the Vow of the Disciple has gone live, but you've had certainly more than 12 hours to decide how to do this loot. And we've seen the API for this since the launch of the Witch Queen, so we kind of knew this was going to be a gigantic flop, and we've been talking about it the whole time. But still, Bungie pulled the trigger on this and released this extremely half-baked, and is definitely frustrating because I was really enjoying this raid, and I really want to do more raid content. And it is a really challenging raid, and the mechanics and the coordination that are required to beat the Master of the Disciple is impressive, and I like that about it. I like the challenge of this endgame activity. It just needs to have loot to accompany it. You know, it needs to be worth it, right? In order to do, if you beat a Grandmaster, for example, you get the adept weapon, you get those really good upgrade materials, it's worth it. You do the raid right now and you get these weapons that aren't as good, and even worse, the armor isn't any better. It doesn't have an additional mod slot, for example, that would be comparable to the dungeon armor. It doesn't have anything that's more advantageous to getting like the adept armor over the non-adept armor or anything like that. There's truly no reason to do the Master Vow of the Disciple, in my opinion, and someone that has, you know, dozens and dozens of clears at this point. So let me know your thoughts on this down below. What will Bungie do to remedy the situation? Are you going to do the raid? And that's a wrap on today's news story. Make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed. Smash the like button. See you in the next one. Later.